So much for doing this again, man. I appreciate it.
Oh man, no problem.
Good Kid, M.A.A.d City's been out for like almost a year now.
Almost a year.
Almost a year.
Yeah.
So what's the year been like since the record came out? Because last time we talked, the record hadn't been out yet.
It's been a tremendous year, man. A lot of accolades. A lot of people enjoy the album. I've been touring all around the world, from this album and just seeing people's response and how they relate to it. So it's been a very, very productive year.
Productive how? Productive of you enjoying life on the road, or just starting to get a little burnt out with all?
I'm enjoying it. It's one big blur to it sometimes. Like a year went past that fast because when you're constantly doing something every day, you don't really get to live in the moment, so to speak. And sometimes I gotta really just sit back and really, read what I saw.
Well, I'm sure you look back in a lot of these interviews, people probably mention things, you're like, oh yeah, I did that, that's right.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
Right.
So
exactly.
speaking of interviews, we talked last time about you getting a band and wanting a band because you didn't have a band at the time.
Yeah.
And now you have, so how has that changed the songs, bringing a band onto these tracks?
We just bring the songs like the 3D. Yeah, that's what I like to call it. 3D, my album sounds like a short little cinema, so with the band behind it, they can do the little bit bigger, eccentric, broad sounds just to put the ideas in your face that much more. It's really dope.
Do you want to try and record with the band? Like do a Roots kind of thing?
I haven't thought about that. That might be a good idea.
That's what I'm here for. I'm here to just give you good ideas.
Yeah, right.
You mentioned the short film in there. I hear there's another short film. I know you titled the record a short film, but now you're actually working on one. Is that true?
I've been writing ideas for actual movie, visual for it.
About what?
Probably based on the album a little bit, but I want to give it up too much.
All right, fine. I'll move to something else.
Yep.
California Love. Because we didn't talk about this last time, and I found, so you were on the set of the video when you were like 8? Mm-hmm. How did you get on the set?
They were shooting in my neighborhood in Compton, like right across the street from, it was on Rosecrans, that's a known neighborhood. I mean, long strip, that's in Compton. My father seen it first, and then he just grabbed me down the street. I was like 2 blocks away, and he brought me out there.
So Pac and Dre are on the street, and there's no like security blocking them around?
Oh yeah, it was a lot of security.
Okay, but you get your way through?
Yeah, by the time I got out there, the crowd was like a big, huge crowd. Back then, Dre and Pac, we look at them as, the Mecca, so it was a crazy moment.
I was reading an interview you did with Erykah Badu interviewing you. That's a highlight, amazing.
Yeah, it's dope.
And she asked you about, I can't remember what she asked you exactly, but you were talking about getting out of the negative and turning it into a positive.
Yeah.
So what was that moment? How did you decide that, this is not for me, this is the path I want to go down? I
think probably the first time I heard my voice play back through them speakers. That was a positive thing I caught, 16, 17. And I wasn't that positive, but it sparked the idea of this might be something I want to do, so by the time I was about 20, I really, really locked in and said, this is it. I'm 26 now, and I put in a lot of years, but that moment right there, just hearing my voice play back, it sparked the idea.
Did you like hearing your voice the first time? A lot of people hear their voice on tape and they're like, oh, that's not what I sound like.
Yeah, I was like, damn, I sound like that? That's crazy, but I like it though. I want to hear it again.
Does the beat influence the rhyme, or does the rhyme influence the beat?
Vice versa. Sometimes the beat might influence it. Sometimes I might have an idea and come across a beat that, has a perfect marriage with it, so however it comes, really. What
was a beat on this record that you said, I need to figure out what to say on top of this?
Sing About Me. Well, it didn't really take too long. When I heard, the beat, I already knew what I wanted to talk about because it just had so much pain and emotion in that record, man, and I just really wanted to dig deep to a real life story of mine that, had that perfect marriage with the, drums and the little guitar plucks that's in there. It's crazy.
That's what you told me last time was the song you've written you're most proud of.
Yeah, definitely. Still. Well, I got a few. You
got a few new ones?
A few on my notepad that's kind of crazy.
Oh, okay, all right. Speaking of new tunes, one with Robin Thicke coming out. We got him on the show next week.
Yeah.
So tell me about this song so I can bring it up with him.
Yeah, give it to you. He reached out, man. I've always been a fan of Robin Thicke, so when he reached out and to do the record, I heard the record. First off, I wanted to do it anyway because he's Robin Thicke, and then I heard the record. I was like, yeah, this is crazy. A little bit out of my element, something I can challenge myself on. And I just started flowing to the beat, and he liked it, yeah.
So just the freestyle?
Somewhat, yeah.
Okay.
Majority of it. Like records like that, I just really want to have fun on it. You know, I don't want to think too hard on it, you know, so I just vibed out to it.
Do you go, when you're doing other stuff like with J. Cole, for example, do you go in thinking about what they might want?
What
like,
as far as like if they, you know,
in terms of what you're talking about, like do you go with what, like even when JC comes on a track like yours, maybe I'll go with that one. So when Jay does a verse for you, do you then go back and say, I gotta step up my game now, I gotta bring it to this level, I need to maybe talk about what he's talking about or switch things up?
Well, with somebody like Jay in particular, you definitely gotta step your game up, and that's exactly what happened on that record. I just felt like he inspired me, you know, to write an extra verse, another verse on there. And that's exactly what happened, you know. And most of the time, you always got to bring your A game on any type of feature because, you know, majority of the times the artists you're working with, they're going to bring their A game if they respect you, you know, like you respect them.
Is there any, no, I'm not going to ask you that. Is there anyone that hasn't respected you? I'm not going to ask you that. Never mind. What did I want to talk about? Your first concert was Watch the Throne, is that true?
Yeah.
That's like 3 years ago?
That's very true. It wasn't that long ago. How long was it? It was like a year, 2 years ago?
Which one? Watch the Throne.
Watch the Throne was like 2 years ago in LA. Huh? That was my first concert I actually like bought tickets and like went out to see.
So why did it take you so long to go see a show? Being a musician.
We didn't have the money. Growing up as a kid, we didn't have the money to go out to concerts and see shows. So, and then by the time I started, you know, doing music, I was so much moving around and you know, indulged in my own stuff. Never really got the chance to sit back and enjoy a Jay-Z concert. It was my first time ever seeing Jay-Z on stage. And it was bittersweet. It was bittersweet because that was like the best show I ever seen without even seeing somebody else's show. So anytime I go to somebody else's show, it's like, damn, I would never be able to get that same feeling that Jay and Kanye, they put on a crazy ass show.
Well, it was huge, right, with the Wolves and everything. So how does a Kendrick Lamar show try and step up to that?
It gradually has to step up to that. You know, I don't want to force nothing. I don't want to force it. It looks like, you know, Jay-Z and Kanye. It's all about going through trial and error. You know, it's my first time out with a band. We're doing great. Let's find our nooks. Let's find our good points. Let's find our bad points. Let's build on that first. Let's build on the content, and then probably the next year or so, it'll be on close, you know, at least close to that level. But it's all about developing and not trying to rush into things.
Right. 5 quick questions, 1-word answers. We did this last year, but I've kind of switched some of them up since then.
Cool.
Road or studio?
Studio.
Lennon or McCartney?
Lennon.
Pac or Biggie?
Pac.
When you hear a song, what usually hits you first? Lyrics, melody, or rhythm?
Melody.
If someone's never heard Kendrick Lamar, what song do they start with?
The Hard Part 3.
In 1 word, Kendrick Lamar.
Life.
Life. Last time you said Compton.
Yeah.
It's a little broader. I like
a little
that.
Broader. That's dope. That's actually super dope. Because if last time I say Compton, and I say life this time, that means I've grown.
Yeah, exactly.
That's dope.
Thanks, man.
That's really
Appreciate
dope.
it.
Yep.